If you want to get better FC24, come join the Neil Guides FC School Patreon series. If you don't get better after 1 month, we'll refund your money. That's the Neil Guides guarantee. Link is down below in the description. Check it out. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the weekly tactic update. There's some new meta formations, or what the community think is meta, but they've been there for some time. And the 5-2-1-2 really strikes me one of the best formations. This is one of these formations that most people, when they use a formation video, and to be completely candid, if they're like a Division 5 player, they say, oh, the formations work. Most of the time it's a skill issue, but this is the one formation that it doesn't matter what level you are, it will help you out, especially in terms of attack, because when the left back and right back go forward, they're completely unmarked in their own angles. I always say, formation like the 3-5-2 and the 5-2-1-2, it doesn't matter what level you are. You could be a Division 10 player or an Elite Division player, they'll most definitely help you with your attack. I think especially now with the players, you have the team of the season players, the Euro players, all these players are really high level rated and they can do everything. The 5-2-1-2, I like it because you can be a 5-back when you're defending, but when you're attacking, you could basically play. So you have 3 at the back, 2 centre mids or CDMs, you like, if it depends how you play them, and then you basically play this one. It's like a 3-2-5 is the way that I like to look at it, because you have a 5 line of attack with Correa just in behind. So I promise you, you'll always find these players free. Remember this, when you're playing the game, always remember this. Your fullbacks will always be unmarked. So if you're ever in trouble, you can always lob the ball to your fullback. These are tactics that I use for the 5-2-1-2, balance 35-62. Remember I said to you, as I said at this stage of the year, I wanted to go through the tactics that I haven't released and also add some different variations in. Ultimate Team of the Season has ended, but there's still Euro players at stake here. Fast bowler play is very important because when you win the ball back, you want them to run forward. And because you're in a back 5, you want to be a bit more narrow, a bit more compact, so there's not gaps between these areas like so. That's probably one of the weak points with this formation, is sometimes you can find yourself a bit too narrow, and the problem is you don't have those wide players. So out of possession, you can't play. That's why I would say this is more of an ultra defensive formation or an ultra attacking in that way, but it's not really one to press the ball. Remember that, not really one to press the ball. Forward runs, 60 width. Forward runs is important over direct passing. It's very, very important to use forward runs, makes the formation much better. It's quite a balanced width, and we have 6 players inside the box and corners and free kicks however you want to. We've got stay central, get in behind for both strikers. One on stay forward, one on come back. Is this player going to come back and make a midfield or anything like that? No. He's going to be just behind the striker, just like that. Be a bit off centre, so you can do that 1-2. The cam on stay forward. You're going to have 3 players on stay forward, perfect for the counter attack at all times. Then you got the left centre mid and right centre mid. I got them on stay back, cover centre. I tried to emulate a more defensive structure, because I know if I put this up, people are going to say it's too attacking, but you can always put these to balance if you know how to attack and defend with 1 player at the back. But keep 2 players on stay back, you already have a fullback overlapping on both sides, so you have to be that much more attacking. Left back and right back, the most important thing is join the attack and overlap. For anyone that's watching, that's an elite level, can use the stay back while attacking and then force the players to go forward with attacking fullbacks. It's kind of funny now that more and more pro players are using that now. So that will eventually become the norm. I can guarantee you this time next year, everyone will be using attacking fullbacks, putting them on stay back, but then using the deep attacking fullbacks to push the players forward. And of course, you can use hug the sidelines. One of my top 5 formations, I think, inside the game this year, especially at this stage, because you have those players available. Then alongside the flying fullbacks, we keep the 3-5-2 in. I think it's just so fun. What we're going to do, as I mentioned to you, is we're going to change these 2 formations as time goes on, just to add a bit more variety, because it's basically becoming the same thing. So added a 5-2-1-2 this week. This will be the flying fullbacks week. And you got 35-55 balance forward runs. This is a very good system. The reason why I like this is because you have 2 CDMs. So when you're defending, if you struggle defensively, you have 2 players in the middle. Problem is like a 4-3-2-1 is that you have the bank of 3 in midfield, but there's no CDM. So a lot of players, they struggle without this instruction, cut passing lane. Because don't forget, centre mids, they say sit higher naturally. AI sit them higher, whereas CDMs, they sit a bit deeper. That is why on counter attacks, people are much more secure using CDMs, because they can run back and then they're positioned in a position to win the ball, and they've got less of a chance of making a mistake and better chance of recovering. So it's the same system here. I got stay central, get it behind, stay forward for both the strikers. Cam on stay forward. Both CDMs on cut passing lanes, throw attacking cover center. Left mid, right mid, come back in defense, get it behind again to the box for a cross. And then the back 3 are all on balance. Now, compared to the 5-2-1-2, the 5-2-1-2 doesn't have center mid, so maybe you could argue it's a bit more attacking on that sense, but the fullbacks run into these unmarked areas where they are unmarked. Your opponent's AI doesn't react to those players, so you can also pass the ball to those players. Now, one thing I'll say with the 3-5-2 is the left mid and right mid are more involved. So if you like to have your fullbacks wide as possible, but not included into the play, more at crossing situations, cut back, then go 5-2-1-2. 3-5-2 is more of the left mid, right mid. They're closer to the box. You can play off them on twos. You can go in with your right mid, make those inverted runs, and then near to the middle of the pitch. You will see this when you play the game. The other safety net is with the 3-5-2, the players can't stay back while attacking, especially left mid and right mid. They can only come back in offense. That means every time you go forward, they're going to run forward. The good thing is with the 5-back, the game only has the instruction join the attack, but you can also put them on stay back. And that way you can basically change to this system and defend out in a 5-2-1-2 and play out the rest of the game. Then we have the 4-3-2-1. It remains unchanged. It's probably the best formation inside the game. I just want to reiterate again. Maybe just to keep, because I know people like to copy my tactics exactly like for like. What I'll do is next week I'll keep the 4-3-2-1 in, but I'll change a couple of other systems. I mentioned that the 4-2-2, you could play that here as another alternative, but I think the 4-3-2-1 is, typically speaking, the best attacking formation inside the game. These are tactics that remains unchanged for the past 4 months. I think all the pros are using some variation of this. And then we've got the stay central, stay forward, get it behind for both the strikers. Right striker on stay central, get it behind, come back in defense. Right centre mid on stay back, cover centre. Left centre mid on balanced, cover wing. And the centre mid on stay back, cover centre. And the left back and right back, both of them on overlap, but the right back is on balance, whereas the left back is on stable attacking. The same tactics. I don't want to go through this again and again because I know I've done this a million times, but it remains unchanged. Nothing has changed from the last week or the week before. And then we have the 4-2-4. Now, this is the one that I mentioned that you can use. Now, what I want to do with this system is just show you, look, there's something else you can do is using the 3-4-2-1. I want to show you exactly what I mean. These two formations are very similar. This one, you have a right back going forward to help you in terms of the attack. This one over here, you have no right back going forward, but you've got a back three and you got the left mid and right mid sitting high up. So you lose the player in midfield, but you have a left mid and right mid. Now, this you could argue is better for pressing the ball in some ways, but I would say it's the attack that really makes this much better. So I put here stay back, cover center on both the center mids, back three on stay back. And then literally I just put like this, stay central, come back in offense for both these players. And the right mid and left mid come back in offense and get in behind. So what effectively you're doing with this system is you're having a system where off the ball, you're going to have Alvarez on stage 4, then you're going to defend in a back 5. So that will help you when you are defending. So you'll defend that back 5, but it's not necessarily the best formation for pressing because you like to press in a 4-4-2. So I thought I'll walk you through how I change these formations myself when I'm making these systems. So what I'll do is I'll test this formation out and I'll know, for example, this has a weakness with pressing because you're defending in a back 5, got midfielders, but you want to pack out a bank of 4, a bank of 4, and a bank of and 2 strikers up front, the best way of pressing. So what you could do, for example, is you can put one of these players on stay forward. Now what that tells the game is, okay, I want you to stay forward, and on defensive, what will happen is Weaver would stay there, become like a left mid, Correa would become kind of a right mid, and Leia will end up becoming the right back. So that is how you could basically force the game to play in that 4-4-2 type structure, because you're basically saying to one of the left mids, go and stay forward, don't come back in defense, and that way you can defend in a 4-4-2 and then you could press with everything else. So when you're out of possession, Turlin and Alvarez will be up front, Weaver will come there, Correa will come there, and then Leia will just go there. So you can play that 4-4-2 system. There's other ways you can mix it up, but the key thing is one of these wingers, or the left mid and right mid in particular, has to be on stay forward. The one has to be on comeback in offense, and therefore you got then a system that now defends in a 4-4-2 but attacks like the 4-3-2-1 that is more attacking with more players going forward. That is how you make a formation more attacking. It isn't necessarily just increasing the depth or like this, although that's an easier solution. Sometimes you want to make it more attacking, more fluid. You have to find the next similar formation with the best attacking layout, like the 3-4-2-1. So you lose the center mid, but you have an extra player in terms of attack. I really like this formation. It's a bit too risky to place. I'd probably say drop these to about like this, roughly about this region here. Put this a long ball. Just keep things simple or do something like this, because when you use constant pressure with this formation, you really have to be on job. Like even myself, when I use this, even with constant pressure, it's too much for me. And I probably assume that if you give it to any pro player, it would be too much for them as well. It's very hard to play because you have too many players on forward. You have to do a lot of running back manually. So that is that. And guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you want to get better FC24, you come to my Patreon. So it's patreon.com/nilguides. We're actually starting a bit early with FC25 videos this year with some preparation. So a link will be down below in the description. And remember, if you don't get better after 1 month, we'll refund you. That's a nil guides guarantee. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy. And of course, I'll catch you next time. Peace out.